Hey everyone, welcome back to another exciting episode of Attacker Productions. Today I'm Bancroft and being joined by Fluff.
What's up, people?
And unfortunately, this is the third time we've had to record this. The first time, the program known as Craig for Discord malfunctioned on us, and it's pretty awesome. So if you all know anything out there that we can use for recording purposes over Discord, let us know, please. Second time, OBS messed up on me, and I didn't find out until, well, right before we had to record this for a third time. So thank you for tuning in, and hope you all enjoy. Like always, hit that like, subscribe button if you enjoy our content. Don't forget to hit that bell as well, let you know when we drop new content. And that's about it. Yeah. So, finals. Fluff, you're piloting a U9 Gotenks variant.
Yes, very, very mid-range aggro. And one of the things that I kind of worried about when making this deck is counter aggro.
Yeah.
So we'll see how it goes. I know how it goes, but we'll see together.
So the real question is, can AUD establish the same board he had yesterday, as you all saw when he played against Jimmy's hit pod, where he just established like almost 20 battle cards on the field?
Yeah.
Can Gotenks handle that? Now,
you know, I think it.
Go on.
Go on. No, go on.
I'll say, before we go any further, you are playing a yellow deck, and I have to ask you the most important question of all yellow decks, even though it is slowly getting weaker and weaker by the sets. Are you playing it?
I am not going to answer that question because I feel like the answer to that question gives away the result of the video.
Fair enough. That's a good answer.
You know what? I don't care. I don't care.
I don't think it'll give away the answer. It lets you know the risk you're going up against when it comes to counter aggro.
Snape kills Dumbledore, Rey's a Palpatine. I don't run Nimbus. Who cares about spoilers? Yeah, Jake and I got to give Jake a lot of credit. I kind of approached this with Jake. I think we were all kind of in our chat group talking about this deck, and you and I had talked about this a little bit. And Jake is sitting here looking at it, and we're kind of talking like turn-to-turn plays. And he was like, dude, like this thing is so mid-range aggro heavy. Like you should really build the deck with the idea of trying to finish the turn out on turn 3 or turn 4 at max if you have to. And so it kind of brought into question, like in really aggro decks that want to go heavy aggro, you don't want a lot of extra cards that aren't going to provide a lot of combo potential or resource advantage for you. So Nimbus felt like a card that would just get in my way.
That's fair.
And honestly, having played this event, Jake's assertion of the deck is not wrong. The deck is really strong, aggro heavy, but it's got a little bit of control, and it's not aggro like turn 2 Han or AOD or something that is going to crit your opponent's life out. Like you'll see as we go through this, there's not a ton of crit in this deck. So anytime I deal damage to him, I'm just feeding him resources. And if anyone is familiar with AOD, you know how bad of an idea that is.
Yeah. So you both had pretty simple turns. You dropped the Unison, which I've never seen anyone play yet, but it's not a bad Unison for bringing out key cards for your deck.
No, the Unison actually works extremely well. The Unison has a de-incentivizer for your opponent to not attack into the Unison, because every time it's attacked, it gains a marker. So unless you're hitting it with double strike, you're not gaining advantage or any type of ground on the Unison. And then for -2, you can search your deck and play a skillless or a U9 with an energy cost of 2 or less from your deck or hand. So I run a lot of targets in the deck, but this lets me board my Chappelles, my Rose, my Basil, depending on the situation that we're in.
Yeah.
And I made the correct call here of boarding Basil. Everything on his field that can be tapped is already tapped. So further tapping is not required. So now how hard do I want to go into AOD at this point? I know if he swarms the field, I'm in trouble. So I want to build as much board presence as possible. Now, I grabbed a row there in preparation for tapping him down in the next turn. And I should have grabbed another Chappelle, I think.
Chappelle's the one where they have to, if they swing, they have to have energy, right?
Yeah, so they're kind of opposites of each other. Chappelle, if my opponent attacks, I get to choose one of their energy and tap it down.
Yeah.
Ro, when he swings, chooses one card on the opponent's side of the field and taps it. So it can be a battle card, it can be an energy, it can be a field card, it can be the leader.
That's not bad.
No.
If you would have boarded 2, I almost you purposely say the name wrong, and it throws me off every time.
Oh,
Chappelle. I want to say Chappelle, but that's not it.
it's Chapel.
Chapel.
Yeah.
Would you have swung with both of them, knowing the AOP does have multiple ways of KOing cards?
Yes, I think so. One, it distracts from the leader, so it keeps the leader from going super hard. And
Gotcha.
It creates targets. More importantly, AOD does have a lot of ways to blow up the field. And as you see here, I don't think it mattered what I was going to play. I was probably going to lose both of them in the turn. But he plays Brawly, pops the Chappelle. Now he's free to awaken because I took him down to 4 life. He's going to awaken, restand one of his energy, and then he's going to be able to more efficiently deal with Ro.
Yeah.
Without having to worry about because if I'd had another Chappelle here, you'll see. So he swings. If this were a Chappelle, auto would have gone off. I would have tapped his open energy, and he wouldn't have been able to do this.
It definitely would have shut this next series of moves down.
Yes. So he is basically, I can't remember. I don't think it is this attack.
Oh,
I think
that would have completely changed turn 3. Holy crap.
Yeah, it would have completely changed turn 3 because he wouldn't have had any open energy.
Yeah.
So, and I'll kind of walk through here. I didn't want to invest resources to save that Ro because I know I'm going to need every card in my hand for the clap. So he's now going to, I believe, swing with lead. Or he's going to use leader effect to play Turles.
Dig for a little bit.
Yeah. Which gets his dig. But then I believe he's able to, it's either on this Turles swing or the leader swing. He gets to float a Nimbus. So it's probably on this leader swing here. I think he was seeing what he got on that. But if you look at his hand is getting quite large at this point.
Yeah.
Which is pretty distressing against AOD.
It's actually really nice with AOD because like a lot of times you're just throwing cards out there, and once you awaken, you get you're no longer drawing off that leader. Now, granted, the Broly one played, so just top 3, you take a card, discard the other 2. Turles searches a card. It has the negates that also play cards. So I mean, it has resources.
Yep. But had I boarded a second Chappelle here, he wouldn't have had those 2 open energies during my turn.
Yep.
And probably makes his turn 3 much more manageable. So you'll kind of see he passes with 2 open energy, which I know is a big problem. I think I've got a Universe 9 symbol in my hand, but I'm not going to get the free play out of it because he's got 2 open energy. So I need to find a way to bait him out into tapping those energy. Unfortunately, when AOD taps energy for a play, they just advantage on it.
Oh, yeah. So here you want to maximize the leader's ability. So you pay 2 energy to play your Unison.
Yep.
And then you turn around and awaken your leader.
Yep. And I would have taken full advantage. Like, had I just not made the misplay, and I was focused more on my ability to lock him down this turn as opposed to denying him plays or playing more control. And I think that's where this deck messed up. I think when I go to revise this deck, I'm going to turn it more control heavy while maintaining some of that aggro-centric. And see off the 2 draws there after I tacked out. 2 of the draws were 2 Universe 9 symbol.
Which it's so bad.
Those aren't combos for me. They don't do anything. In a lot of ways, they're better than apes, but apes are universally good because they're also combo pieces if you need to combo with them.
Yeah. So I will say we talked about this in the other videos. You do make, I don't want to call it a misplay, but you could have optimized your play a little bit better this turn too.
It's definitely, I did not sequence correct.
Well, I still agree. Swing of lead, that's fine. He's gonna negate because Euler currently has crit. Floods the board. I think what you do next is that you do the -2, but I feel like you should have swung instead and tried to bait another negate out.
Yeah. I should have. It would have put another card on the field to.
But he would have been tapped out.
Yeah. Yeah, there's so many things here. I'm like this is kind of the benefit of what we do here is I get to see the mistakes, and swinging with Gotenks first means that he can just negate that attack and it's not as much pressure. I should have swung with the Bergamo, then -2 on the Bergamo, swung with the battle card, and save those Gotenks swings for as long as possible.
Now, I mean, granted, there is a high chance that with the amount of cards in his hand, he might not have negated the Bergamo, but it was always worth a shot to try. Because he could just comboed cards, extra cards in his hand up that he doesn't really need.
And at the time, what I was thinking, if you notice back when I was playing the 7-drop Gotenks and when I played the Bergamo, when I tapped energy, his hand instantly shot down to his energy to drop an Android 13 on both occasions. So I knew he had the counterplay. I knew that if I just -2, I was going to get an Android 13, which maybe baiting that Android 13 instead of the garlic would have been optimal because it would have been one less card on the field because he wouldn't have got the free play. And then I would have had the two swings from Gotenks. Here, this is a mistake.
Granted, he would have had a combo of crap load off just to protect himself, but going with your mistake.
It's more of a in the situation reacting. So I grabbed Chappelle I grabbed Basil instead of grabbing another 15,000. I was digging for maybe something like a super combo. I didn't see a super combo this entire. And like that was pretty much the theme of all my games this night was I didn't see a single super combo all night.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll play the Basil. The Basil will help me dig. I've got a Man on the Mission in hand, and I'm thinking about playing Man on the Mission, swinging and going all out on that swing. But then he's got 10 cards in hand. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards to combo on the field, one of which is a super combo.
Yeah.
On the field alone, he can get up to 45,000 plus the 10 cards in his hand.
Yeah. And I mean, maybe I think you said you can only combo up to 55,000.
Yeah, I could have only gone up to 55.
If he was just using, say, the forward cards, that's plus 25, puts him at 40. As long as I think he has another super combo in his hand. Maybe he doesn't. But I mean, he would have had a burn card on the field or a lot of cards in his hand, which could have made his turn a little bit more easier for you to handle.
Yep.
Because it's a double strike. Like, he can't stand and take that. So he would have to have comboed out for sure for doing that.
And it really boils down to I hadn't tested this deck at all. I didn't know how this deck would really fare in a situation like this. I'm used to playing a little bit more robust decks that maybe have Sensu Bean to pop on the field or different things. And he's just ripping cards out of my hand at this point and making it hard for me to play there. I'm thinking about the next turn, hoping he taps out here. I can resolve a U9 assemble when I should have kept that for the 5,000 combo.
I mean, you have 2 or 3 in your hand, don't you? Have the U9 assemble?
Yeah, I've got 3 in my hand.
You could have, I think pitching with this would have been a better option.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. And again, it's more that we get that oversight, seeing how things have kind of
I hope he revealed those to you. Looks like he just put them. Okay, there you go. Okay. I was
Well,
like,
right.
he just put 'em-
He didn't reveal them. And I was like, hey, you've got to reveal those.
Yeah.
And he went, oh, okay, here they are. So I was kind of glad to see one of them was a unison. It didn't really leave me in a great position either way. And I'm going to give him credit here. So he swings with lead on my lead. I say no negates. He does not combo at all. So I combo one.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, okay, it's going to be this game. So I'm going to start comboing one on each of my swings. So if it's 15, he's got to go up to 20. Now I have to burn 2 cards to not have to take life. And he's got enough to play Xenocell on the field.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to maintain enough life to keep the sparking on the time magic.
It gets harder and harder as you go because you're not seeing super combos, which I know you played the Zamasus in this one, I think.
I played 2 Zamasus and 2 Krillin.
Gotcha. Okay.
So I play a 2-2 split. A Zamasu would have been great because I would have been able to like combo tap like that Brawly that's a 20,000.
Yeah.
Or tap that super combo or something. I would have just been able to tap with that. But see, again, he swung 15, comboed 1, made it 20. I got to burn 2 on the combo. And time magic as a negate isn't helping me because he doesn't have a dual attack here.
Correct. Yeah.
And I also don't have a card, so I've got to take that, hoping that I get something, and I got a unison. So, it wasn't something that helped me at all. And it just kind of became clear when I saw what was in that life. I knew I was going to have to take another damage in one of these swings to even remotely have a chance of surviving.
Yeah.
And once I take another point of damage, Xenocell kills me. No ifs, ands, or buts.
And this is actually one of the reasons why I don't like doing Gotenks on turn 3 a lot of times.
Yeah.
Because of the crackback.
Yep. It was such it. He played this turn out right. He noticed my strategy of making sure that I wasn't going to take damage. If I'm not mistaken, he does have a Xenocell. So he knows that if he can make me take 1 point of damage, he can combo all out on this next Brawly swing. And if I somehow manage to survive the combo, all he's got to do is successor kill me with Cell.
And so here, even if you were, and this is where I like on the Gotenks leader, you want to awaken before you bring out the 7 drop because you get the crit, but it might have been better to
have played the 7 drop, then awakened.
Yeah, and just hang on to the 2 energy.
Yep.
It would have opened you up to what, you have 3 time magic in your hand, I think.
I have 3 time magics in hand.
No, 2. Yeah. Okay,
2. Sorry, it is 2. But yeah, the whole hand was just basically non-helpful at that point. And the deck is highly designed to be aggressive, but I just got unlucky by drawing 2 U9 Assemble on the Gotenks. I got really lucky by grabbing a Unison out of life. I got lucky I only run 2 time magics in the deck. I think I only run 2 Vegeta Final Flash. It's just an unlucky series of events that I got both. Like that I got all of the non-free combo cards and saw no super.
It happens. Sometimes you get bad pulls. But
it's that part of the game. He played it right.
And Joe came back, like he was it last week, week before, he showed up with AOD. I managed to get him to play Xenocell and Final Flash to sell. Then I took it next turn back to Kabora. And from that point on, I know he's been eager to come back and try to get that win. And he pulled it off. He won at our locals this weekend. So kudos to him.
Well, and I'm not going to take anything away from his victory. This is a classic example of someone who is playing a deck that they're very comfortable with. So he playing AOD versus me, who's playing an engine that I'm comfortable with in a deck type that I'm not comfortable with.
Yeah.
So there were aspects of this. Like, I'm not an aggro player. I lean control oftentimes when I build a deck. And this is just one of those instances where the control was in his hands. He knew how to play his deck. He knew what his deck was going to do. I made little silly, careless mistakes. And while each of those mistakes were small, little, tiny, and maybe they're not mistakes, they're just the wrong choice. Each of those added up into a position where I just got beat. He capitalized on those mistakes that I made, and he punished me for it. He did a great job.
Yep. And with that being said, thank you all for tuning in once again. That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else.
So with that being said, Fluff, would you lead us out?
Of course. Make sure to read your cards, know your plays, and like always, fluff out.